This video is sponsored by War Thunder. Okay, no time for the video. Previously on uhyeah. Just putting this out there, the next video is 100% going to be about Geometry Dash and my whole experience with it. So get ready for that, because I sure do have things to say. Now for the thrilling conclusion. Oh, who am I kidding? You've already read the title. This isn't a Geometry Dash video. How are you gonna explain yourself out of this one? Yeah? I'm not. Oh, okay then. Carry on. At this point, everyone who regularly watches me has to understand that I'm a wild card and to not listen to anything I say regarding future videos. I mean, we all saw how the piggy video turned out. You're still doing that! Whatever you say, bucko. Anyway, now that we have that out of the way, I'm proud to announce that the next video will be a Geometry Dash video. So if you were looking forward to that, it's still coming. Probably. Like I said, you really shouldn't listen to me regarding future videos. So, do you want me to help you segue into the actual video topic now, or? Nah, I can take it from here, strange omnipotent voice that didn't exist 5 minutes ago. Suit yourself. I'm gonna go gambling. Hit a couple slots in Vegas, you know, lose a couple million, no big deal. See you later, sucker. Who the fuck was that guy? Anyway. FNAF, am I right? I haven't been paying attention to the fan game scene the last couple months, but I'm in the mood to now. So how about we take a look at the current most popular FNAF fan game? I'm trying to see what I've been missing out on, you know? Alright, let's see what it is.
Now at 10, it's a startling gaming trend with children sparking outrage for some parents in a Utah school district. That game, Five Nights at Epstein's.
Okay. So we're actually not gonna talk about that. How about we try to find something else to talk about? Yeah, sponsor Parrot. Got any ideas? How about Five Nights at Piggy? Never mind! So wait, you're saying that instead of playing one of the most popular FNAF fan games currently, I should instead find a FNAF fan game that nobody has ever played? Okay, yeah, that's a good idea. Ladies, gentlemen, and everyone in between, strap in, because we're doing that. I fucking hate y'all. Also, make sure to subscribe. You know, so I can afford to feed sponsor Parrot. Do you know how much fucking parrot food I have to buy? You do not understand. But first, this video is sponsored by War Thunder. Hey you. Yeah, you. Have you ever wanted to play a game with, comprehensive vehicle combat? Well, guess what? There's a game for that. Introducing War Thunder, the most comprehensive vehicle combat game ever made. Now available for free on PC, consoles, and mobile devices. Choose from over 2,500 tanks, planes, helicopters, and ships of 10 major nations, ranging from all across history. It also features an in-depth customization system for said vehicles, with countless decals for all different types of vehicles, including community-created ones. War Thunder is a truly immersive experience, boasting detailed vehicles, realistic graphics, and authentic sound effects that come together to place you right at the helm of some of the most powerful war machines ever made. You can drive any tank and fly any aircraft with nothing but your mouse and keyboard or controller, even in simulator mode. Join a worldwide community of over 95 million players in epic PvP battles by downloading War Thunder today. It's free and available on PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and mobile. If you sign up using my links in the pinned comment or video description, both new and returning players that haven't played in at least 6 months on PC and consoles can receive a massive bonus pack, including multiple premium vehicles, the exclusive vehicle decorator Eagle of Valor, 100,000 Silver Lions, and 7 days of premium account. This offer is only available for a limited time only, so make sure to act fast. Alright, if we're gonna do this, I gotta lay some ground rules first. For starters, and this should be obvious, the game realistically needs to look like it has 0 downloads on GameJolt. Now, GameJolt doesn't directly tell you how many downloads a game has received on the page, but we can use details like view counts, comments, and likes to determine if a game works for this video. The other main rule I want to try and follow is that the game needs to be of a certain quality. There are so many shitposts and stolen games uploaded to the GameJolt FNAF FNAF category daily, and picking one of those would just be low-hanging fruit. My goal here is to find a game with some actual decent effort put into it, that, at the same time, has basically no attention on it. We're trying to find a true hidden gem here, everybody. That's pretty much my only criteria for this. The game has to look at least somewhat high quality, and it needs to be the nichest of niche you've ever niched. Well, all that's left to do now is actually find the damn thing. So I'm gonna throw it over to uhyeah 2, as he's currently live on the scene, scouring the depths of Game Jolt to find a game for this video. Take it away. All right, today we are on the hunt. We are on the hunt for a Five Nights at Freddy's fan game on Game Jolt with literally 0 downloads. I mean, I could just cheat right here and just be like, guys, shift at Casper's Bleeding Moon with 30 views and 3 likes. This is it, guys. This is the game we're gonna talk about. But I mean, you know, clearly that'd be a bit of a cop-out. So I mean, I'm sure this game is great. I mean, the shift at Casper's Bleeding sounds fire, bro. Wait, what's the story? Due to Casper's Pizza Place's... Holy crap. Okay, oh, that's just... Why is that there? I'm gonna I mean, do I have to censor this? This is just like porn, basically. This game is tagged for mature audience. Yeah. Oh, wait, is this actually a FNAF game? Oh, get me out of here. Get me the fuck out of here. I'm good. Okay, the Circus Nights at Jared. You see, okay, 3D models, I have no idea if these are original or taken from somewhere else. But okay, we got 3D models. This is a good sign. Kind of reminds me of Sister Look. Oh, Corrupted Jared. Wait, what? My hypnosis will attract you. What? Corrupted Jared? Is that, hold on, who? Okay, I really think there's like a 0% chance these are, hold on. Oh, this is not even in English. Lore, a new circus opens in 2005 featuring revolutionary technology, but joy plummets in 2010 when animatronics called Ginst kills 5 children using a claw. And this has literally 9 views, 1 like. So this is actually right in the criteria. This is a contender. I'm not convinced the person who uploaded this made these models. Old FNAF model age. Oh, well, I mean, yeah, they're... hold on. Yeah, that might be the same fucking one. That might be the same fucking one. Five Nights at Yoki Pocket Code? What? Why is this mature? Why is this tagged for mature? This has no likes, but somehow it has a comment? Why is this the only picture? I think we have to check out Jackie's Forest Outsourced. This looks pretty high quality for being a new game. See, we've run into an issue where this has 1,000 views and 16 likes. So surely this has been downloaded before. Okay, hold on, we need to read all the comments. This looks amazing, please don't fumble. It looks absolutely peak. Wait, these are from 7 months, hold on, new. This looks amazing, please don't fumble. It looks absolutely peak, I can't wait. Do you need a screenwriter? Okay, someone asked 9 months ago if they needed a screenwriter. It came out 11 hours ago and has 2 comments. Neither of the comments are people saying, just finish the game, that was fucking awesome. No, it's people saying, this looks peak. This looks absolutely peak. Please don't fumble. Wait, fuck, we need to check the replies. The replies can make or break this. If anyone in the replies is talking about, just played it, it was fucking awesome, it's over. Right? Because I can be the most ignorant person ever and be like, guys, 16 likes, 1,000 views. You know, people maybe just clicked on the page and were like, that's cool. You know, maybe I'm never gonna download this though. So they just didn't download it. But if one of these replies is saying, just played it, was literally the best game ever, it's over. Because this right now is the best candidate we have. All right, 3, 2, 1, go. Don't worry. I don't plan to talk to minors! What? Oh, I didn't mean it like that. Yeah, no, I didn't think you meant it like that. I don't know why they took it like that. Quickly see. Okay, so we found our first AI slop game. That's good. Astro's Arcade, The Night Shift. Yeah, I know my first game was but I don't think many people click on this with an AI photo. Yeah, I clicked on it. I'm attracted to the slop. You know, this shit is this like a fucking chat GPT. Chat GPT, give me a step-by-step downloads on how to fucking extract this Windows game. Okay, yeah, I think we found our game. Might be stretching the definition a little bit, but I mean, it looks pretty high quality, and I'm here to play something maybe fire. So, Jackie's Forest outsourced. Let's fucking do it. Let's run it. Well, that was interesting. That was actually my first time seeing any sort of AI-generated FNAF fan game before, which I never even really considered could be an issue. But maybe that deserves its own video some other time. I'm sure there's a huge rabbit hole to dive into with all that shit. That's not important right now, though. What is important is that we found our game, Jackie's Forest Outsourced, created by Cone_Ram. It's probably pushing my criteria a little bit, but I think that's mostly because of the larger view count throwing me off. When that is easily explained by the fact that the page for the game had been up for a while, and there's a good chance most of those views and likes came from before the game even came out. But hey, it's close enough and easily looked the highest quality out of any of the games I browsed through, so I'd be an idiot to ignore it. This is where I'd normally tell you a little bit about the game before getting into it, but I genuinely know nothing right now. I'm going into this as blind as possible. Like, I know there's a squirrel, and there's a pig, and there's some kind of mysterious third creature that might be a dog or a wolf, but that's it. So, how about we find out what that mysterious third creature actually is, and play the game. Here we go. The third guy is a skunk. It's a skunk, apparently. Welcome to Jackie's Forest Outsourced. Upon starting a new game, you're thrown directly into the first room, which is the equivalent of a night here. When I said I went to this game completely blind before, that was kind of a lie, because I did actually read the description and learn a little bit about the structure of the game beforehand. It's not a super traditional FNAF game. Instead, each room you have to beat features completely different gameplay, so you never know what's coming next. I think this can absolutely work if done correctly. The big hurdle is really just making sure each of the individual gameplay styles are fun and interesting, which is definitely a taller order than simply creating a more normal FNAF gameplay loop with the usual night-by-night difficulty curve. Another thing I'm going to be looking out for here is some kind of common through line between each of the different styles of gameplay. It's one thing to make a bunch of different completely separate mini-games, but for a game with a linear structure such as this one, I think it's important to have some key gameplay concepts show up in most, if not all, of the different gameplay styles. With that little preamble out of the way, what does Room 1 have to offer? It starts off with a phone call from a very normal, not suspicious at all, sounding phone guy.
Just don't let them near you. They're still malfunctioning machines, after all, with enough strength to hurt you. By accident, of course.
Of course. He does the usual phone guy thing of explaining the mechanics of the room, then signs off until we finish the job. This first room has the player dealing with two different animatronics. One of the animatronics is tied directly to the central task of the night, since this game is task-based and not time-based, while the other simply exists to stop you from doing your task efficiently. In the case of Room 1, that would be Maurice the skunk as the animatronic tied to the central task, and Jackie the squirrel being the simple annoyance you have to deal with. Maurice roams around the building, and occasionally comes to your office door. Once he's there, you have to use the audio alert system on the task computer to make him go away. The part of this mechanic that makes it work really well in my opinion is how the central task of the room ties into it. There are a series of files on the computer that you're tasked to delete, and getting rid of all of them is how you complete the room. However, deleting these files makes the computer make a fuck ton of noise for whatever reason. So, your computer essentially becomes an audio alert for Maurice. So you have to balance deleting files to make progress, while also making sure you're not spamming it too much in order to keep Maurice at bay. And I think it works very well. It's kind of like a boiled down, easier version of Pizza Sim's office gameplay. Jackie simply shows up from time to time, and you have to shut down the power for a little bit to make them go away. This also pauses your current file deletion. I don't think this secondary mechanic had to be anything crazy, especially considering that this is the first part of the game. And overall, I think everything comes together here to make a pretty decent first room. It's not incredible or anything, but it's also literally the first night of the game. I'm not really expecting that much. I only died during this section once, which was ironically my first attempt before the phone guy even got to finish explaining the mechanic for Maurice to me, which is kind of funny. This did let me see one of the jump scares though, and I have to say, they're done pretty damn well. They're fully rendered with the environments at the same time, so the game is able to pull off some more dynamic movements here pretty effortlessly. Speaking of visuals, the graphics are also done pretty well. I think some areas definitely suffer from boring gray box syndrome, but at the same time, some of the later areas are actually really creative and super fun to look at. I'm always going to be a sucker for pre-rendered 3D graphics like this. It's one of my favorite aspects of the classic style FNAF games, so outside of some complaints, I really have no major issues with the presentation here. Upon deleting the final file, the room is completed and you're given an awesome PNG of pancakes to look at. This is probably my favorite part of the entire game, as I am known for my iconic love of pancakes worldwide. Look at all the great fan art I've received of me eating pancakes. This is bullshit! And here we have our first post-night minigame, a staple of the genre at this point. It requires you to make some choices, and I don't think I chose them very well.
I'm having a picnic with my friends today.
That's cool.
You think you can help me?
Sure. I'm not gonna lie. That shoe is looking mighty tasty.
I'm not sure we can eat that.
No,
That's
it's
a
good.
shoot. Now, which of these apples would be perfect for the picnic?
Oh, this one.
Where'd you get that one? Looks like someone already ate it.
Now, which of these would
Batteries,
be nice,
batteries.
sweet? Where should we pour our drink?
I'm like genuinely scared I'm gonna get jump scared for doing all these wrong. I just want to see what happens though.
That's a can. Now the most important
Oh
part.
my god. I'm gonna say the microchip because I'm assuming these are supposed to be like the real, like the quote unquote real versions. She was surprisingly cool
Click
with
on
that.
the door to open it.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I did a good job, apparently. Me not clicking this very obviously scary moving brain would have dire consequences later. But you'll just have to wait and see that. It's time for... Guys, I have good news. I thought this room was better than the first one. This one is basically like a mini version of FNAF 4, and as FNAF 4's #1 glazer, I legally have to enjoy this. This is probably my favorite gameplay loop of the entire game. Not to say the rest of the game is bad or anything, but I definitely think Room 2 just had more thought put into it. The ideas on display here are just very clever. Similar to the first room, there are once again 2 animatronic threats to deal with, this time swapping out Jackie with that iconic pig we saw on the Game Jolt banner earlier. This is Polly, and they're in the room with you the entire time during this section. One of my favorite recurring tropes in FNAF fan games is the animatronic that's in the room with you the entire night. I think this concept stems from the salvage sections in Pizza Sim, and by extension the Scrap Baby mechanic in UCN, and if used correctly, this kind of setup can be very creepy. So seeing Polly in the room at the beginning of the section definitely gave me a lot of hope from the get-go. Unfortunately, it's not as good as I thought it could be, but that's more to do with the mechanic they chose for this character than anything else. Behind the player is a thermostat that needs to be kept at a specific temperature the entire time you're in the room. So you have to check on it occasionally to move the temperature either up or down, so it eventually settles on the desired temperature. Maintaining the correct temperature here is what helps keep Polly at bay. So even when they do eventually spring up from their slumped over position, it's not as impactful as it could be, since if you're regularly changing the temperature, you've basically already dealt with them. I think the strengths in having an animatronic in the room with the player mainly come from more reaction-based mechanics, where seeing the animatronic move positions means the player has to immediately act upon something quickly. At the same time though, I do like this temperature mechanic, and I think it's a pretty engaging part of this gameplay loop. In an ideal world, this section would just use all 3 animatronics, and the new one would take the temperature mechanic, while Polly is changed to some kind of reactionary electric shock or something. But I also understand that this is literally the second room of the game, and that might be too much. Maurice is the returning animatronic here, and his mechanic is literally just FNAF 4 Nightmare Bonnie and Chica, like I mentioned earlier. If it was only that, I'd probably still like it, but it would be a little lazy. However, thankfully, how this mechanic ties into the main task of the room is the chef's kiss on top of everything. Okay, so the main task of this room is to shred 10 pieces of paper. Once the 10th piece is shredded, the section ends and you get to see that iconic PNG of pancakes again. Each piece takes time to shred, and occasionally the machine will get jammed, so you have to press the button a few extra times to get it working again. Now, if you know anything about paper shredders, you know, in real life, you'd know they can definitely be loud, and the one in this game is no exception. The noise it makes is so loud, it even carries over to the doorway when you go and check on that. And that's when it clicked. The main task of the room creates a lot of noise, which purposefully makes it harder to hear the breathing when you're at the door trying to deal with Maurice. So you literally have to nerf your ability to hear things in order to make progress in the night, beautifully tying the task mechanic and Maurice's mechanic together into its own little balancing act. It's not so loud that it's bullshit or anything either. Like, you can definitely still hear the breathing, but it's still just annoying enough to work for me. Not only does this make the gameplay here way more cohesive and engaging, it also helps continue the trend set by the first room of having one animatronic be more task-focused and the other being more of a detriment to your task at hand. So even though the gameplay is different between these sections, it still feels similar in a good way. And then the skunk gets hit by a car and dies. The end.
Click the biggest bag you can
For
find.
choosing the fucking smallest bag.
I don't think that's right, dude. Try again.
You know what this reminds me of? I'm gonna keep pressing it, but it's like the fucking, I'll run over this liberal sissy. No, I don't think I'll do that. No, nuh-uh. Gas prices are kind of expensive.
Click the pile of 3 sleeping bags. That's probably wrong. Pick
No,
another
I
one.
don't think I want to do that. Room 3 is, unfortunately, a bit of a dip in quality. I think my biggest issue with it is that it's kind of just the first room again, with a new coat of paint. While Room 2 had similar gameplay through lines to Room 1, this one is basically just Room 1. We're back to deleting files again as the main task, although this is actually the most different part between the two rooms. While in Room 1 there were less files that took longer to delete, this time there are more files that require you to hold down a button on a monitor in order to delete them, and each one takes a few seconds. I think this task is actually a very strong base for a gameplay loop, and absolutely could have worked, but sadly, I just don't think the gameplay here complements it very well. For starters, we have Jackie again. They occasionally show up in the left hallway, and to get rid of them, you just flash them with a flashlight, which is basically just the same as shutting down the power when they showed up in the first room, even down to halting progress on deleting files, since you can't have the monitor up while dealing with Jackie. Then we have Polly, who basically takes the place of Room 1 Maurice. They show up in the other hallway, have 2 phases of movement before they attack, and the only way to make them leave is by clicking a button on the monitor that plays a noise. So basically, the exact same thing as clicking a button on the audio alert system to make Maurice leave. Listen, I wouldn't even really have an issue with this if it was harder or something, since the concept of having a light reprise of the first room later in the game with harder mechanics does sound cool, but it's basically the exact same difficulty as Room 1, except this time it just takes longer to beat. This room desperately needed a third animatronic to help differentiate it from the first one. We are 3 rooms into the game now. Surely having 3 animatronics at this point would be fair. That's pretty much all I have to say about this. And if you thought I had barely anything to say about this room, get ready for... This room is genuinely bizarre to me. It is by far the most interesting location in this game from a visual perspective. Literally being inside one of the abandoned play areas is such a sick concept for a room. The mechanics are also pretty damn good here. You have to throw ball pit balls at Maurice when he shows up in the window and shut the door when Jackie appears, but you can't keep the door closed for too long or else Polly will show up and jump scare you instead. Finally bringing together 3 animatronic mechanics in one room. This had the potential to easily be the best section in this entire game, but unfortunately, it frankly feels unfinished. For starters, there is no task in this room, for some reason. Even though it has already been established in the past 3 rooms that each one will have a task to complete, this one just doesn't. And there is genuinely no good reason for it either. It's not like the animatronic mechanics on their own can carry this section. No, it really feels like something is missing here. You're probably wondering how this ends then, and I think it's simply a time-based thing, but there's no indicator for this at all. So it kind of just abruptly says you can leave after a certain point. On a similar note, this section is also way too easy for Room 4, and a lot of that comes down to how fast it ends. For example, you were given 15 balls to throw at Maurice. By the time I could leave, I had used 5 of them. 5! If there's a limited resource in a game like this, you want it to feel limited. FNAF 1 would not have worked as well as it did without the limited power being such an important thing to manage during those later nights. If you're gonna give me 15 balls, I should have like 2 or 3 left by the time I'm done, not 10. This would probably be entirely fixed if there was a task here that actually took a few minutes to complete, but once again, there isn't one. So yeah, unfortunately, this room is pretty much just wasted potential. With a few tweaks, it would be great, great, but as it stands, I was simply just left confused after beating it. I don't want to leave this on a fully negative note, however, so allow me to bring up these fucking awesome death screens each of the animatronics get when they jump scare you in the rooms. They all have their own unique ones for different areas, and they are such a treat to look at. I bring them up now because the Maurice one for this room with him peeking through the window has got to be one of my favorites. There's also another minigame after this room, so that's something as well. Oh, and also the pancakes are back. Well, here we are, the final room. Checking back in with the phone guy, he sends us down to the boiler room for our final quest on this mission of definitely not doing his dirty work for him. Yeah, man, just break into this abandoned building for me and delete a bunch of shit, then go down to the boiler room. I'm sure this guy is innocent. This room kind of has a similar issue to the last two, where it's really easy for some reason, and basically nothing happens. However, this area is definitely supposed to be like the final part of Sister Location's bad ending, where you can die during a few sections, but it's mainly just a plot device to wrap up the story. So to some extent, I can understand why it's like this. However, I definitely do wish it was actually a challenge, because the concept for the gameplay here is really good. The actual animatronic mechanics are kind of whatever, like I'm not even gonna bother talking about them, but the task you do here is by far the most creative in the entire game. The phone guy explains to you that you need to turn a series of valves in a specific order as your last job in the building, which, you know, like we said, isn't suspicious at all. That alone is already kind of a neat idea. But what takes it up a notch is the fact that the phone guy himself is actually the one telling you in real time the order to turn the valves in. So he doesn't actually hang up for this room, and instead stays on the line and slowly tells you the order in which you turn the valves. I love this idea, and in a more intense gameplay setting, could have been so perfect. But unfortunately, the other mechanics here are just not stressful enough to make it really work. Like I said earlier though, I think this is somewhat on purpose in order to lull the player into a false sense of security, which does actually work, but I just wish there could have been like a hard mode version of this with buffed mechanics to play afterwards. It's so clever. With that aside, I guess the only thing left to do here is follow the phone guy's instructions and turn the valves. However, when I tried to do this, it turned out the game had other plans for me.
Then the red one. Then the red one. Then the red one.
Then the red one.
Then the red one.
Oh my god, okay.
Then the red one.
Oh my god. Is this randomized or is it actually like this? This is kind of scary.
Then the red one.
Oh my god.
Then the red one.
Gee.
Then the red one. Then the red one.
Then the red.
Then the red one.
Then the red one. Why? What's happening?
Then the red one.
Jesus. Is this broken?
Then the red one.
Oh my god.
Then the red one.
Are we dead ass? There's no way.
Then the red one.
Oh my fucking god.
Then the red one. Then the red one.
Are we? There's no way. Then the red one.
Then the red
Like, I don't want to touch the other ones because it's gonna just fucking explode. But there's no way this
Then
is.
the red one.
There's no way this is what it's actually supposed to be. What is happening?
Then the red one.
Oh my.
Then the red one.
Okay, sure, man. Fuck it. Whatever.
Then the red.
So, obviously that is not supposed to happen, if you couldn't tell. I'm not gonna judge glitches at all here, since it's obviously normal for a game to have a few at launch. And under any normal circumstances, I would be playing this game after a few patches. I did run into a few more, but definitely none as funny as this. So yeah, just wanted to put that out there. Anyway, after I reset the game, I was able to quickly redo the segment without it breaking, thankfully. And now, all that was actually left to do was turn the final valve.
And finally, the big white one.
Oh my god, what the fuck? Oh my god, what is happening? Oh, we died. Yep, that is actually how the game ends. What a surprise, the phone guy was using us the whole time. He sent us in there, made us delete all the shit he wanted us to, and literally planned a way for us to accidentally die at the end to boot. However, this isn't over yet, because upon returning to the title screen and checking out the list of rooms, there it was. So obviously, room 6 did indeed exist. The question now was, how do I unlock it? My first idea was to check YouTube to see if anyone else had played it before me, only to be hit with the cold wave of reality, seeing only the trailer for the game in my search result. I kind of forgot that nobody has played this game before, so I was out of luck there. Another idea I had was trying to cheat it in through the normal means you use to cheat stuff in click team games. However, then I remembered that this is a rare Game Maker FNAF fan game, so that wasn't an option either. My only choice now was to strap in for the long haul and try and figure it out myself. My first idea was collecting some of the secret files I'd missed in the previous rooms, then rebeating room 5 to see if that did anything. Scattered throughout the game are these little images you can view in the menu for extra lore and such, and I had accidentally gotten a few of them just by playing the game. So I thought maybe collecting all of them would do something, but unfortunately this didn't seem to work. Another idea I tried was beating room 5 again, but purposefully turning the incorrect valves to see if something different would happen. And technically this did work, as I was able to go through the entire sequence while turning the incorrect valves. However, all this ended up doing was making it so the death cutscene just didn't trigger, and I ended up just dying to an animatronic anyway. My final idea had to do with the post-room minigames. By complete accident, I had gotten the secret endings for both the second and third minigames. I think just by spamming on a lot of stuff, I'm not actually sure though. However, I never ended up getting it on the first one, so my thought process was to figure out how to get the secret ending on the first minigame, and then rebeat room 5 again afterwards, and see if anything changed. The first step was getting back to the minigame, so I rebeat room 1, got to the minigame, and tried exactly what I did last time, except when I got to the microchip or brain choice, I chose the brain instead of the microchip like a dumbass. And guess what? It fucking worked. I got the secret ending. With that, I was ready to beat room 5 for a third time to see if I could get a different ending. And when all hope seemed lost, this happened. I don't even know.
And finally, the green one.
Okay, no, we're good. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh shit, okay, I think I did it.
Eddie, I told you to stay in the boiler room. What are you doing?
No, it's okay.
You're in grave danger. You, can't leave the boiler room, much less go into the elevator while the building is
Oh, he
falling
really
apart.
did want to kill us.
You have to turn around and leave now.
Uh-huh.
I don't think you're listening to me.
No, I'm not.
I said turn around.
Whoa, okay.
Go back to the boiler room. You are not supposed to be in the storage.
I did it. I really didn't think I was gonna figure it out, but I did it. Upon entering room 6 for the first time, the phone guy just completely crashes out on you.
Fine then. You want to die down there? Then die. If the explosion doesn't kill you, then those performers will.
Okay.
Those stupid, wretched things.
Whoa!
They can survive the explosion. You're not making it out alive. Not with what's down there on the storage floor with you.
As you heard there, he didn't give us any instructions on what to do either, so it's all up to us to figure it out. If you couldn't tell by looking at it, this game takes another thing out of Sister Location's playbook and makes it so the final secret room is actually just a classic FNAF experience with doors, a flashlight, cameras, the whole shebang. Like Ennard Night, it's a neat idea, but especially in this game's case where all the other gameplay styles are pretty similar, this just throws all of that away in favor of, you guys remember FNAF, right? It's pretty fun, don't get me wrong. Definitely one of the hardest and most interesting parts of the game, but still. Anyway, I'd go over everything here, but bro, it's just a normal FNAF thing you've seen a million times. There aren't any crazy unique mechanics you'd need me to explain. It's just FNAF, it's fun, dude, I don't know. So here's me beating the room instead.
You can't leave yet. You can't leave yet.
Okay, I did it. Whew, oh my god. We did it! Yay! With the phone guy arrested, and also us slightly less arrested, that, my friends, is the end of Jackie's Forest Outsourced. There's a custom night that unlocks after beating Room 6 that lets you play Room 6 again with different configurations, but I think it might be broken now because I was able to beat the max mode on my first try, and I swear it was easier than the version you have to play for the main story. So I'm not really sure what's up with that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's wrap this up. Jackie's Forest Outsourced is a very charming game. It's not perfect by any means, but for being a completely random game I had zero expectations for, I had a good time with it. While it doesn't deliver on every idea it puts on display, the ideas themselves are pretty solid, and the ones that do deliver are awesome. Do I recommend any of you at home play this? Probably not yet. I'd wait for a few bug patches to roll out, then maybe check it out if you're interested. Hopefully this video can turn it from a game that nobody has downloaded to a game that at least a few people have downloaded. That would be very nice. So, shout out to Cone_Ram, who developed this game basically entirely solo. While I did have my criticisms for it, I don't want any of that to downplay just how much effort goes into a passion project like this one. And like I said, even if I have a pretty critical eye for games like this at this point, I still had a good time with it overall, especially trying to figure out everything for myself. Please send them some nice words if you check out the Game Jolt page for yourself. And with that, I think I'm done here. And once again, thank you to War Thunder for sponsoring this video. Make sure you use the links in the pinned comment or video description to download the game for free on mobile, PC, and consoles, and take advantage of my limited time offer. New and returning players that haven't played in 6 months will also receive a massive bonus across PC and consoles, including multiple premium vehicles and other goodies. Also, Handy Dan's re-release news soon. I'm so sorry for the delays. I'm so sorry for the delays. Tune in next time when I actually make a Geometry Dash video, and to see if I'm lying to your face as we speak. I've been uhyeah, and I'll see you all next time.